my name is Savannah, and I'm a graduate from Ravensbourne University. I graduated last year, and I've been working it full time at Couplework Studio for just over a year now. So I was also working part time during uni in kind of like motion graphics role as well, and it was part time. So I was juggling a bit of like getting some work experience as well as finishing up my studies, and then that tided me over until I got my full time role at Copperworks. Um, so I'm going to show you my show reel now. Okay, so I can play that again later if anyone wants to see it again. But I thought I would just go over what motion design is and kind of like my job in motion design and how I got it. So the definition I like to use is that it's the art of storytelling with the elements of time, fundamentals, and graphic design, and the principles of animation applied to it. So it's kind of like something that's everywhere, but nobody really like notices it. But that's kind of like the thing with good design is that good design shouldn't be like super noticeable, because it's meant to just like add to your life, and it's more noticeable when something is like poorly designed. So things like logo animations like Netflix, animated billboard posters, like film and TV title sequences, um, advertising and branding campaigns, those all have motion design in them. And something that most people don't really realize is that motion design is something, or motion graphics is something that every industry or company almost needs in it. Like, even if it's a banking app or website, they need videos and graphics that might be animated to help provide information to the customers. And it could just be static, but having a bit of motion in there always just adds to it. And that could be like, yeah, like I said, every industry, whether it's like finance or film, TV, beauty, sales, like they all need motion design. Um, so that's kind of like, in a nutshell, what it is. Um, this is just something from Figma, the principles of graphic design, like what makes a good, for example, magazine spread, what makes it well designed, and then also like maybe it could be applied to websites. And nowadays most websites are actually animated. As you scroll through them, these have things like swiping across or like popping up on the screen. Does that work well? How easy is the animation to look at on the eye, etc. Um, so I'm not going to go through each and every one of those, but this is just something that we as motion designers need to refer back to quite a lot. And then the same thing with the principles of animation, which I believe came from the original Disney animations. Um, sorry, one second. Right. So yeah, this is from the like early days of Disney and how they animated things. Like if you imagine that like little Mickey Mouse like on the boat steering the wheel. So motion design, why I love it so much is because I think it's basically the intersection of technology and creativity. Um, so I've always been a very like creative person. I studied fine art first, and then I kind of transitioned into a bit more digital design, and just started like messing around with like 2D and 3D software that I'd never used before. And I really enjoyed the learning process. And I found that through that, I was always referring back to my whatever I learned in when I was studying art, and like I realized then that having like an artist's eye and a designer's eye is super helpful for being a motion designer, because we're always looking back at these like core principles and applying it to our work. And even to this day, I'm still doing like thumbnail sketches and drawing storyboards maybe for the projects I'm currently working on, even in the studio, or might be like a personal project. So it's something like, it did take me a while to find what I really wanted to do, but discovering this, field, it's a pretty small one, and it did take me a while to discover it, but it was definitely worth the wait for me, because it's combining everything that I'm interested in, which is creativity, arts, and technology, and continuously learning new things and like staying up to date. Those are all the things that I'm interested in, and that's just all part of the job these days. um, and there's very few universities that actually teach motion design as, its own designated um, fields. There's a lot of graphic design courses out there that might have pathways into motion, or there's also, of course, VFX and post-production jobs, which have definitely got a lot of crossover and intersecting with motion design. But there's very few unis that specifically focus on motion graphic design, and Ravensbourne is one of them. So I'm really glad that I found this course, and yeah. So studio and work life, I'm mostly remote, and every week is different. Every month is different, actually. Sometimes we have loads of small projects going on at once, where it's like lots of social media kind of deliverables, or we could be working on one big project for like weeks and weeks, maybe even months on end. And that has been the case currently for the past month or two. We've been working on a big digital out of home advertisement. So there's like lots of kind of like billboards and like several things. It's a bit immersive. So that's been really fun to work on, and I've learned a lot. So yeah, once that's done, maybe we'll be going back to like lots of small jobs going on at once. And this time of year is quite busy for the industry, because everyone has got their like remaining budgets set out for the rest of the year. And in advertising and branding, everyone's thinking about, Christmas and New Year's Eve, and there's lots of those ads going out in the next couple of months. Like, you could even find clients planning and organizing those advertisements in like September, because they need to get, their budgets over to like the agencies, and then agencies need to plan their production and have them delivered in time before they want to go live, which is probably around now or in a couple of weeks. So that's just something to note if anyone wanted to get into the industry. This time of year is always going to be a bit manic. Anywhere from September onwards, projects are going to start landing, basically. And yeah, so that is everything I had to present. So if anyone has any questions, please let me know.